Ladies and gentlemen, during the introduction module, we understood the concept of lean and the concept of Six Sigma, in addition to the fundamentals of statistics. Now, we need to know how to implement the Lean and Six Sigma concept in our manufacturing system. We will start our first lecture in the Defined Phase module. As we mentioned in the introduction module, the DMAIC consists of 5 phases, and any Lean Six Sigma project should be done in this sequence. Yes, we can shift one tool or technique to another phase, or do it twice in 2 phases. But in general, the Lean Six Sigma project should be done in sequence and according to specific plan. In the first phase of Lean Six Sigma project, defined phase, the business drivers are defined, customer critical processes are discovered and defined in very clear words. Also, the whole project are specified and defined. In addition to that, the implementation plan are developed. The module will cover the following topics in 2 lectures: project charter, stakeholders analysis, voice of the customer, VOC, process map, SIPMAC, Kano model, brainstorming, affinity diagram, specify CTQ requirements, and problem statement. The following materials are ready for download: the course material in PDF, templates for project charter, project plan in SIPMAC, and Kano model in Excel and PDF. The activities to be done after the module in PDF. Instructional video for defined phase tools using Sigma Excel. The defined phase has a flow diagram. The tasks should be done in sequence. However, shifting a specific task one step forward or backward maybe has a better effect on the defined phase or on the whole project. Flexibility is important, but also a good plan with specific dates and milestones are very important. Defined phase starts with stakeholders analysis, then the customer complains and requirements are defined through the voice of the customer. After that, several tools are used to define the problem clearly: process map, SIPMAC, Kano model, brainstorming, affinity diagram. Now, we will specify critical to quality requirements and write problem statement in clear words, and the project charter according to specific rules. At the end of the defined phase, we will define the improvement needs. Outputs of the defined phase. First, and most important, output is completed project charter, which will cover the problem statement, stakeholders' business impact goals, scope, timeline, and define the team. Also, documentation showing what are the current customers, either they are internal or external, or future customers that they will be affected by this project. Also, what their needs are. Another outputs are high-level process map, completed project plans, communication plans, expected outcomes from the project. Again, there are 2 important notes to be considered during the implementation of defined phase of Lean Six Sigma project. No need to apply all tools and techniques for every project. Few tools may be sufficient for the project. Project charter. The charter is a contract between the organization's leadership and the project team, created at the outset of the project. Its purpose is to clarify what is expected of the team, to keep the team focused, to keep the project and team aligned with organization priorities, to transfer the project from the champion to the team. Demand projects are sometimes selected by managers or sponsors. However, if you have to select the project by yourself, please consider the following steps. Look at what's important to the business: cost, profit, revenue, customer, etc. Gather data ideas from diverse sources: customer marketing information, process data, employee opinions, regulatory changes, etc. Screen the ideas based on critical criteria to make the list more manageable. Prepare a project charter that provides more details about potential costs, benefits, scope, etc. Here are some examples for Lean Six Sigma projects. Reduce handling time due to packaging. Reduce process wire loss, achieve reduction in wasted wire raw materials in stator manufacturing process. Overtime reduction, achieve savings through analysis of factors contributing to overtime in production environment. Reducing and controlling raw inventory, improve cash flow due to lesser inventory. Increase paint booth throughput, reduce need for outside processing through increased throughput. Finished paper product, reduce waste and increase production per year. Ceramic capacitor high pot failures, reduce failure rate. Project team. Most team members will join the project after the problem has been identified. For example, we want to implement a Lean Six Sigma project to increase throughput of a paint booth. It will be a black belt project. The members of the project team are champion, master black belt, engineer, supervisor, operator. In a demand project, it is crucial to identify the stakeholders early, to have a communication plan for each of them. Also, it is very important to have their support in order to reduce the resistance to change when improvement is implemented. Typical stakeholders include managers, people who work in the process under study, upstream and downstream departments, customers, suppliers, finance people. In addition to that, in specific projects, we have to include human resource. To access the project charter template in Sigma Excel, click Sigma Excel, then Demand and DFSS templates, then Team/Project Charter. Here is the template for project charter and project team. By entering the data of business cases, high-level problem statement, goal statement, project scope, project plan, and team. Now, you will have completed an effective project charter. Please note the following. In project scope, you have to specify what is in scope and what is out of scope. Also, the process start point and end point. In project plan, you have to mention for every task the start date and the end date. For project team, you have to mention the role of each member and their commitment in the project. Research methods for collecting customer needs are divided into passive methods and active methods. Passive method include the internal research. In passive method, this is no direct contact to customer. However, it includes the following. First, research secondary sources on customer needs and requirements and customer values. Second, possible product and service qualities. Those are indicators for measuring success. Active methods include a direct customer contacts through going to the Gemba, one-to-one interview, focus group interview, and survey. In going to the Gemba, we will observe the customer at work in order to better understand his environment and activities. This method also delivers information about unexpressed needs. In one-to-one interview, we will deliver information on the needs and expectations of specific customers. Also, we will deliver information about their values and their views about service aspects. In addition, it will deliver information about the attributes they wish for a specific service or products should the customer have, and also the data for measuring success. The focus group is helpful for identifying the views of a group of customers. The group should represent a specific customer segment, and in this way supports efforts to gain a more precise definition of the segment, as well as a prioritization of customer values. In survey, we serve to measure customer needs and values, as well as the evaluation of products and services. This will be done by a large number of customers from one or more segments. Based on large samples, it delivers hard facts for making decisions. The voice of the customer is a process used to capture the requirements, needs, and feedback from the customer. Either the customer is internal or external. The target is to provide the customer with best-in-class service or product quality. The voice of the customer can be captured in a variety of ways, such as interviews, surveys, focus groups, observation or warranty data, field reports, and complaint logs. Customer segmentation is a way to identify and focus on the subgroups of customers who generate the highest value from the product, service, or process. There are 3 segmentation criteria: economic, descriptive, or geographic, attitudinal due to value or service. In business-to-business marketing, a company might segment customers according to a wide range of factors, including industry, number of employees, products previously purchased from the company, location. While in business-to-consumer marketing, companies often segment customers according to demographics that include age, gender, marital status, location, urban, suburban, rural, life stage, single, married, divorced, empty nester, retired, etc. This is an example for customer segmentation according to life stages and age. Sources of data. For existing company, to collect sales information, they have different sources of data: product or service sales, product or service returns of refunds, sales preferences, and contract cancellations. Additional sources of data are customer referrals, closure rates of sales calls. Customer contact points, listening posts, are product or service complaint or complement mechanisms like hotlines, website links. Also, any customer-facing staff like customer service representative, sales representative, billing staff. For research, the source of data will be either direct or indirect. Direct sources are interviews, surveys, focus groups, and point-of-use observation. Indirect sources or market trends are market share changes, industry experts, and market watchers. The process outputs are list of customers and customer segments, identification of relevant reactive and proactive sources of data, verbal or numerical data that identify customer needs, defined critical to quality requirements, CTQs, specifications for each CTQ requirement. A CPIC is a high-level process map that includes suppliers, inputs, process, output, and customers. Quality is judged based on the output of a process. The quality is improved by analyzing inputs and process variables, used to identify all relevant elements of a process improvement project before work begins. SIP diagrams are very easy to complete. Here are the steps you should follow. 1. Create an area that will allow the team to post additions to the SIP diagram. This could be a transparency made of the provided template, flip charts with the headings SIP written on each, or headings written on post-it notes, then posted the notes to a wall. 2. Begin with the process. Map it in 4 to 5 high-level steps. 3. Identify the outputs of this process. 4. Identify the customers that will receive the outputs of this process. 5. Identify the inputs required for the process to function properly. 6. Identify the suppliers of the inputs that are required by the process. 7. Optional, identify the preliminary requirements of the customers. This will be verified during later step of the Six Sigma measurement phase. 8. Discuss with project sponsor, champion, and other involved stakeholders for verification. An example of high-level process map for DC armature winding. You can check the suppliers, the inputs, the steps of the process, the outputs, and the customers. Exercise for SIP. Please fill in the SIP of winding process in spinning mill using the following items: spinning machine, paper cones, empty bobbins, weaving machines, adjust tensioner of the winding machine, starts the machine, spare part inventory, maintenance department, finished cones, spinning bobbins, collecting the finished cones, check the operation of the winding machine, adjust the yarn clearers of the winding machine. Please pause the lecture and perform the exercise. Here is the solution of the exercise. Please check it and compare it to your solution. To access the SIP template in Sigma Excel, click Sigma Excel, then to make and DFSS templates, then SIP diagram. Here is the template for SIP diagram. You start by filling the project data, then fill in the process steps below. Start to fill the supplier, inputs, outputs, and customer data. The Kano analysis has been named after the inventor, Dr. Noriyuki Kano. It is a tool helps to determine what characteristics a producer might want to include in the product or service to increase customer satisfaction. The Kano model breaks down a product's features according to how they can meet customers' expectations, some of which are explicit and some latent. The y-axis of Kano model is degree of satisfaction of the requirement. The x-axis is the level of fulfillment or execution of the requirement by the company. Kano's model maps individual features onto 5 grades. Each grade indicates how customers perceive a specific feature and how it relates to customer satisfaction. The 5 grades are: performance, one-dimensional. Simply stated, these are the requirements the customers are able to articulate, and they are at the top of their minds when they are evaluating their options. They are the most visible of the model's requirements, and the better they are performed. Basic, or must-haves. Simply stated, these are the requirements that the customers expect and are taken for granted. Excitement, delighter. Simply stated, these are the requirements that are unexpected and pleasant surprises or delights. These are the innovations you bring into your offering. Indifferent. Simply stated, these are the requirements that the customers simply don't care if they are present or absent. Reverse. Simply stated, These are the requirements that cause dissatisfaction when present and satisfaction when absent. There are 3 steps to applying the Kano model. Step 1. Define features and user groups. Just as you would for any usability methodology, your planning, design, and testing is relevant to specific user groups. So first, identify your users. Next, you need to identify which features to test for each group. Step 2. Get user feedback. This comprises 2 steps. Prepare your questions and get user feedback. To prepare your questions, the Kano model uses a survey with a very specific form of questionnaire developed as part of the model, in which users are asked 2 questions about each tested feature. These questions are: what are your feelings when the feature is included in the service or application? What are your feelings when this feature is not included? When answering the 2 questions per feature, users are always required to select one of these predefined options. I like it this way. It expects it this way. I am neutral. I can live with it this way. I don't like it this way. Step 3. Map feedback and grading features. The accumulated responses are then gathered in the Kano model's grading map, which correlates the response into a final grade for each feature. A. Attractive. E. Expected. O. One-dimensional. I. Indifferent. R. Reverse. Q. Questionable. Reflect unclear results which cannot be graded. The following example shows users' response to 5 features. Please pause the lecture and study carefully the Kano analysis example for software. Please download from the resources the instructional video for defined phase templates using Sigma XL. Define phase Sigma XL.mp4. Thank you, and see you in the next lecture of Define Phase.